people reading poems, and they bust in with guns and told folks to shut it down. This was this May. It didn't get a lot of news, but it happened, and you could, go see read about how it happened. But, I thought, of course, it ironic. And, I don't believe in the abuse of Holocaust imagery, especially when it uses Holocaust imagery as the justification for an imperialist state. And so I wrote this poem called Burning Books, Baba plots in Jerusalem, and it's a reflection on the Israeli army shutting down the Palestine Festival of Literature in the month of May of 2009. I begin with a quote that is in the Bibelplatz in Germany by Heinrich Heine that says, "Where they burn books, they will, in the end, burn human beings too." Jews love books. We dress them up in crowns and gold breastplates, fine paper, our finest calligraphy. Our books live in an ark lit by a flame that always burns, a metaphor for a God we don't have vowels for. If we carry nothing into diaspora, we carry these stories. These scrolls that unroll a history we revere and parade through aisles on the highest of holy days. We kiss the corners of our tallis to our lips, put the cloth next to praise words Moses brought off the mount. Our ancestors lugged through the desert, stories told and told again at a kitchen table somewhere. The 5th and 15th time we heard them bored out our Seder mind. But the 50th and 502nd time something stuck, so we wrote them down in our most reverent hand style in the blackest of ink on bone parchment. We record the trials and rivals and lineage and heroes of our family because we love books and mourn all the storied bodies burned by those who hate books with messy endings. We love books because books are bodies of stories, and stories make history. And we are a people who believe in history and the stories of people that tell history, and mourn all the bodies and stories burned before they are recorded in the eternal book, authored by the voiceless and the vowelless. But it is 2009, 5769. And this spring, Israeli troops shut down the Palestine Festival of Literature behind barrels of guns. They stormed into a theater where poets were reading poems and demanded silence behind sugars where bullets scream and governments checkpoint and Knesset's approved military bombardments and schools bombed and burned on ground they are meant to be on fire from words and ideas and not metal. In the name of a Jewish state, Israeli-educated young men aimed guns in the faces of women reading poems. In the name of a Jewish state, stories silenced forever, which raises the question, what do we need a state for? Who are we because of empire? What democracy are we scared of? How can we deny the right to sing to Hassan a Palestinian song? Madmen bring books to the bonfire. Power madmen bring bodies. Our books have been banned and burned and bordered, bodied into boxes and camps because they demand memory, insist our presence in the story of the world, and books are memory of never forgetting. And people house books in their stories, and stories should never be crushed by missiles. Books record the day and days in exile, and days that should not have been recorded, the horrors and the horrible, the records of families split and broken and bastards forever. Books are records that never forget and preserve and serve memory and history when militarized revisers deny events as lived by the natives. The records prove otherwise, proof of existence, because empires want proof of purchase and perchance and pursue silencing stories that make them look criminal in the honest of day and moon of night. Records are stories of people hold dear. Who knows this more than us? All of us. wandering immigrants, all of us, seekers of safe land, all of us, unfettered poets of wind, all of us, literate builders of pigeon, all of us, inventors with scraps, all of us, people of the book, though we don't really seem to know much anymore, except the havoc reaped on our bodies in exile, the learned behavior of our executioners. We internalize the bureaucracies and boots and lines of refugees we terrorize, gather families into open-air prisons and worse. We bury bodies in graves of steel, bodies who house forests of stories. Where is the ark in the center of the congregation, the ark in the center of the city of peace, filled with bodies of stories, records stacked and unfurled, unsequestered and unsilenced? It is madmen who bring books to the bonfire and bodies and hold poets at gunpoint. This is the work of emperors and empires, Führers and fascists, scared colonists, insane to control what no state could. The record of people living despite the state's efforts to have them not.